Hello and welcome to the Effortless SSL Profits upgrade. In this video, we're going to go through some of the materials that are included in the course and how to use them. So first things first, you get the welcome message. Just be sure to cover all this, and all this is pretty standard for my upgrades. And what we really want to concern ourselves with are the assets that I've given you. Here is the sales proposal. Now you could use this proposal in a couple of different ways. You can provide this proposal in email sequence. So let's say you use, and I'll show you, I'll go over this, but you have a landing page and someone, you include that link to that landing page in an email. And, in that email, you make your call to action, click on this link to get more information. So they click on the link, they visit the landing page, you have a video there that compels them to opt in, and then they opt in, and when they confirm their email address, they get delivered this sales proposal. That's one way. The other way is to present the sales proposal. So if you're the adventurous type and you want to visit the business and schedule an appointment, and you can sit there on a laptop or a tablet and present the sales proposal to them. Now these are the video landing pages. This is what hosts the video. Now these are HTML pages. They go on your web host, and I've included instructions for how to configure them, set them up, and upload them to your web host. These are not WordPress templates. However, you could use them with WordPress if you have an outsourcer convert them to the type of page that WordPress uses. In the Essential Business Files section, I put together the work agreement and the invoice template just so that you have something to go off of. If you've done anything like this before, you probably have these already. Of course, you can always use PayPal. PayPal has an invoicing system, so you can use that as well. And then here is the video sales letter. This specifically sells the SSL service to them. Now, the call to action for this video is not a buy action. The reason why I didn't put a buy action here is because the prices for your services are going to vary based on the client that you're targeting. So what I did was I created the opportunity to generate the lead, and it does sell them on why they need one. And then at the end of the video, they opt in, or it asks them to opt in, and then your follow-ups with them will determine, what service level they need. So you'll have to figure out, okay, do they need a basic level or a more advanced level? What scale of business are they? Do they have, they a big business? Do they have a decent budget they can put towards this? Then, they can get a more comprehensive certificate. So the video here is generally to generate pre-sold leads for you. Now the email templates that I've included here are going to drive people to the video. So they're written specifically to drive people to that video, to watch the video and put in their email address, opt in, and then the sales presentation will sell them. So the funnel here, if you haven't figured this out already, funnel here is, here's an email, fire off that email to as many people as you can. The email compels them to click on the link to visit the landing page. The landing page displays the video. Video pre-sells them on the service, asks them to opt in, they opt in, they get the sales presentation, they get sold, and then they buy from you. Now, in truth, what you'll have to generally do is follow up with them, say, here's a presentation, I'd love to answer any questions you might have. And generally, people will have one or two questions, and you got to remember, if they have questions, these are buyer questions. People don't ask questions if they're really not interested, so they just have to be sold. And generally all you have to do is ask for the sale. So if they're interested, then they recognize that they do have this problem, that their site is not secure, and that eventually their site will be more or less delisted, right? When Google throws up those warnings, that is the effective result of their site being delisted. People are less likely to interact with the website, enter in their information, buy things, etc. They're going to lose money. So, when they acknowledge that they have that problem, then they know they need a certificate and they can be sold on it. Now, I've gone ahead and downloaded all this stuff, and I'm going to start with the landing page. So I've opened up the 3 tabs for the pages that I give you with the landing page. This is the video landing page. So the video is displayed here, and then at a certain time along the video, the button will drop. Now your page, when it starts, the video will autoplay, and then the button will drop, a couple of minutes in. So you won't see the button like you see it now. The button will just appear. If you see that, then the page isn't configured. You'll have to follow the instructions in the landing page guide to how to set up your page appropriately. And then when it's set up, the video will autoplay and then the button will drop. When they click on this button, they take the action, they go over to the opt-in page. And the opt-in page right now is configured for a Google list, right? It's a Google's form is what it is. And this will take their business information. So their email address, their name, their contact information, and their telephone number. Once they confirm, and generally, they'll with Google, there's an advantage and a disadvantage for using Google, right? The advantage with Google is that it's free, right? And you can collect this information, this lead information, put it automatically in a Google spreadsheet, and you don't really have to set up anything elaborate in order to collect leads. The disadvantage is it's not like an autoresponder that takes care of much of the work that you'll have to do. With Google, you'll have to follow up with them and say, here is your presentation, download this, right? With an autoresponder, all that could be served automatically. So with an autoresponder, once they opt in, and I show you how to do this inside of the landing page guide. Instead of using a Google form, use like a GetResponse, an Aweber, or MailChimp, some other form, right? Some other lead capture form. And then when they confirm, they get sent the confirmation page, and that's where they can download their strategy. Now you'll have to edit this link, right? This link links directly to the presentation. So you would take your presentation, and it's either presentation.pdf or presentation.ppt. You would just change this link, and I cover how to do that inside of the guide. But they would click on this link and get the sales presentation, and of course you have your contact information here. And inside of that guide, I also talk to you about how to fix or how to set up your footer. If you notice, all the pages have a footer in them, so just follow the instructions on how to set up that footer. And that's real simple. It's a real simple landing page, and it's meant to be that way. There's no need to be complex. The video does all the heavy lifting, and they just follow through and they click and they opt in, and then they get their sales presentation to get pre-sold. So let's clean our space up here. And then what we'll do next is we'll go over the sales proposal. Then we'll bring our little sales proposal in here. Just try and get it centered, like so. Okay, securing your website. Okay, what we want to do is first tell them of the upcoming changes. Google does have a secure web initiative that they're going to roll out this year. And what that will actually do is let customers know that certain websites have vulnerabilities. And we're telling them that your site is vulnerable. Now, when you're sending this to a specific business, you know who that business is. You can customize this. So instead of saying your site, put business name is vulnerable, or put their web address here. www.joespizza.com is vulnerable because it doesn't have an SSL certificate. And we're letting them know that these changes are coming. They're right on the horizon. We want to demonstrate what the problem will be. So here's just kind of an example. Hey, your connection is not private. This will pop up inside of a user's web browser. And what's that going to do? It's going to stop the user cold from interacting with the business's website. We kind of pull out and break down why warnings are deterrents for people to input their information and private information onto a website. So with a deterrence, they're not going to interact. They're not going to add their name, their email address. They're not going to make purchases. So the businesses will lose money, buyers, leads, you name it. People will stop interacting with that site. So it's just stressing the problem a little bit more. The next is we're going to scare them. Fear is a strong compulsive force. We want to tell them that hackers do indeed, and this is true, prefer to attack non-secure sites versus secure sites. Why is that? Well, because a secure site is a lot harder to hack. Now, no website is unhackable. No system is 100% secure. However, the less secure a system is, the easier it is to manipulate. And that's what this graph is showing. Now, we make the statement here that most customers will refuse to participate inside of the website or with the website if their information is at risk. And they're less likely to put in their payment information, give you their personal information, such as their email address. They will not fill out forms. Again, driving the point home that, hey, you're going to lose if you do not secure your site. So now if you have, this is where we really scare them, if you have a compromised website, if something happens, right? Let's say their identity gets stolen, right? The customer's identity gets stolen because the data was intercepted between the user and the business website. Well, now there's the potential loss of fraudulent charges and the losses of chargebacks. $50 of chargeback, if you have 100 people, then you're going to lose a lot of money on that if 100 people were compromised. But even just one, who wants to lose that money? Nobody does. Right? Nobody, not even a business, not even anybody who's in a part-time business will want to lose that much money, even if it's just a couple. You don't want that. And plus, some merchant accounts, you get a certain amount of chargebacks. They'll just cancel your account. So there's a big loss for having a compromised site. So one of the things we want to do is to make the site more secure, and then we do that with a SSL certificate. Other problems that the person might experience would be, his reputation takes a huge hit and the customers just simply won't do business with them. And then some may even sue the business saying, hey, you should have been more careful with my personal information, and now I'm going to sue you because you're liable. And, we don't want to do that because they're going to lose thousands of dollars, right? If they get sued, that's thousands of dollars tied up in court fees and, of course, lawyer fees. And if they get judged against, then, any type of compensation or whatnot will obviously could potentially be in the thousands of dollars. We're moving the conversation now towards, hey, you got to protect your customers. You have to make sure that their information is secure. And the only way to do that, or at least one way to do that, is to encrypt the connection between you and the website user. And then, the business owner has to protect their business. Right? We don't want to lose any revenue because of lapses in security. Right? Those losses are generally unrecoverable. Once you lose that, you lost it. And of course, the reputation is a big part of it too. Oh, I don't want to hurt my reputation. So you notice where I'm going here. This is scaring the pants off of them. We want to scare them into buying services from us. And it's perfectly 100% possible to do that. Well, we've done it, number one. And number two, that's what sells. Right? The fear of loss sells, is a more compulsive force than, or a compelling force rather, than the opportunity or the anticipation of gain. Right? Okay, I might gain $10, but if I'm going to lose $10, I'll probably take more steps to save myself from losing those $10 than I would be to make those $10. Okay, so now we deliver our solution. Say, hey, we need to get an SSL certificate. We need to install it and activate it on your website. We'll tell them a little bit about SSLs. We can purchase them from third parties. In other words, you don't sell them. So that's setting you up to say, hey, I'll give you the SSL at cost if you allow me to do this for you, and I'll just charge a small nominal fee. We tell them also that there's a couple of different cost levels depending on what they need. And then we also tell them, hey, it's a little complicated to install, but you know what? You can do this on your own. All right. If you notice, this sales presentation does present things in more of a strategy, and I found out this works really well because it's an education-based marketing. It's education-based advertising. So it delivers basically everything they need to know and almost everything they need to, to fulfill the service. So we're not quite giving them, the exact steps on how to get an SSL certificate, but we're telling them that they can find this information on their own. Now, we know that most business owners will not want to do that. One, because they value their time. Two, because they don't really have time, right? And three, there's a general air of, okay, maybe this is too technical, or I don't really know. I know how to make pizza. I don't know how to install SSL certificates. Even though you and I both know that you can go on a Fiverr and find somebody to install an SSL certificate for $20. Right? It's very easy. It's just the context and the framing that people do when they look at these things. They think it must be rocket science when it actually is not. But we are telling them how to do this. And we're giving them the education that's saying, hey, you could do this. You could figure this out in a day or two. But why would you want to? Right? Why would you want to? Let me save you the time. I can do this for you for a lot faster and cheaper than you think. And I can do it faster than you is what I meant to say. Right? So where it might take them a day or two to figure it out, you could do it and hire somebody to do it. And just like I told you inside of the main guide, you can get this done in an afternoon. Okay? So this is kind of saying to them, hey, let me do this for you. You don't have to bother. Right? We'll give them estimated costs. Now, the costs I put here are on the very basic SSL certificate. So it's nothing fancy, just a real simple SSL. And then, of course, a cost to to put it in, of course, to set it up. And, you're going to pay 20 bucks, whatever, for an outsourcer to do it. So the difference, if you were to roll with these numbers, of course, the difference is, you get paid 100 bucks per client just to put it in. And, the standard SSL certificate, I think I'm marked up by 100. So it's actually like 200. But, you can get like $522 a year per client. Of course, this is the basic pricing model. It could be more, it could be less. About 30% of your customers will buy additional items from you, other marketing services, and I put that in here. So we offer other marketing services to them because we want to upsell. We want them to think about the bigger picture here. Not just security, but also about what opportunities there are for lead generation, for reputation management, for social campaigns, SEO, whatever it is. Right? And of course, this plug and plays very nicely with other business systems I put together for you. These are other systems that are available in my library. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I have an extensive library of different modules, different systems that you can use to upsell and cross-sell and the whole 9 yards. Now, the real beauty of this service is it really is a great conversation starter, because you have to think of it in terms of, the latest trend and what's going on. It's sort of like that book that I put together recently about what's coming up in 2018 as the Fast Cash Playbook. There's a lot of things that are on the horizon, and being the person in the know and being the person who knows what's coming and what the impacts may be for a business, that's valuable information. Most people do not pay attention. In fact, most people can't even tell you what they had for dinner 2 days ago. So with, being a solution provider, being a consultant for a business, if you have your ear to the ground and you know what's coming, then you are a valuable asset for that business, because now you can say, hey, did you know that in 2018, Google is going to start shutting the doors on websites that have no secure connections, that they will start throwing up warnings in front of your customers? Do you know what that's going to do to your business? Because I noticed that you take leads, or you intake leads on your website, right? If you don't have a secure connection, then Google's going to start popping up warnings that the connection is not secure, and any information that you input on the site is going to be stolen. If you're selling to Joe's Pizza, right, and the guy's name is Joe, hey, Joe, did you know that this is happening? Did you know that, what this is going to do to your business? Do you realize that you're not going to get as many people opting in or ordering pizza or whatever it is they do on your website? Did you know that this is going to stop your customers dead in their tracks? And a majority of them will not want to trade or risk their personal information for a pizza or for a lead form or whatever. Some people will, right? Some people just don't care, right? But the majority of them, you give them just one little stop and they will stop. It will kill conversions on that page or promotion or whatever it is Joe is doing on his website. Point here is, when you're selling them, you got to get Joe to agree that that is truth. And you and I both know it's truth, right? But we got to get our customer, our client Joe, to agree that it's truth, that he has this problem. When you get Joe to agree, well, then you've done 99% of the selling, right? If Joe agrees he has this problem, then you've done most of your selling. You just have to ask, okay, Joe, we got to fix this now. You ready to fix it? Let's fix it. Okay, what's involved, right? Joe will say, okay, what's the deal, right? And you got to tell him what the deal is. Okay, you just need a basic SSL. The price is going to be this for the SSL. Hey, I'll give it to you at cost, even if your costs are a little higher, or even if it costs you a little lower. Remember, you're buying these things wholesale, so your costs are lower. But, you can tell them, hey, I'm going to give you a special price, and then this is the price for the SSL, and then here's the price to install it. And you make money on the difference. And you don't even have to worry about the technical aspects of this. It really is a non-technical thing. It sounds technical, and in fact, it is technical, the underlying technology around an SSL certificate with different, bitrate encryptions and hashtags, not hashtags, MD hashes and everything else. That's all technical stuff. But you don't want to talk about the technical. You don't even want to concern yourself with the technical, because you don't have to. That's technical stuff, but you don't have to concern yourself with the technical. Everything is handled by outsourcers. Your certificates are provided by resellers. The work's done by, like I said, by the outsourcer. And really all you have to do is sell. So your main focus, right, where you should put all of your energy is in finding and contacting businesses who do not have an SSL on their page, right? Who do not have a certificate, security certificate. So let's talk a little bit about that.